Hey, Mahnaim from MemberStack here, and welcome to MemberScript 193. In this video, I'm going to show you how to track specific member activity on your website. Say a user has come to your website and landed on a particular section that has an attribute. What you will then see is that activity being logged in MemberStack's data tables, and that will look like this. So I have viewed this section, and that's what it's titled. If a user also clicks on a specific navigation link, say going to the pricing page, that will also be logged. If they've clicked on a sign up button, that will also be logged as I've clicked on the sign up button. If a member has submitted a form, for example, on your website like this, that information will also be logged as Mahnaim has submitted at the email form. If a user has changed profile information on a profile form, that information will be logged the same way, like this. So what you'll see in the member activity log is Mahnaim changed email in the email form as well as name in the email form. If they've clicked on a purchase button, that will also be logged as I've clicked on the purchase link. And over here, if I've watched any background videos on your website with a specific attribute, that will also be logged as I've played the video. All right, let me show you how to set all of this up inside of MemberStack as well as Webflow. So first things first, you are going to need to add MemberScript 193, and it should look like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to that code should be in the description below. And if you're watching this on the MemberStack site, then you should have already seen the code. You're either going to paste this site-wide or on a specific page, depending on your specific use case. Okay, so first things first, in order to get this set up, what we're going to do is head over to MemberStack, and you are going to create a new data table. For the data tables, you're going to name it member activities, and the key will be member activities. The rules that you're going to set on this table are as follows. For create and read, that'll be for any member, and then for update and delete, that'll be for admin only. And then inside the table, what you're going to do is create the following fields. You're going to create a member ID text field, and you're going to set that as required. Same goes for member name, member email, member activity type, as well as activity title, and then activity timestamp, which is going to be number, and then activity metadata. Once you've set up all of these fields inside of MemberStack, the next thing we're going to do is head over to Webflow. Inside of Webflow, first things first, in the script, you are going to take the name of your data table, and you're going to add it over here, the table key, and you're going to add that over here. If your table is still named member activities, then you just leave that as is. But if you renamed it to something else, then you change that table key over here. You can find this inside of MemberStack, going back to tables, over here. So table key is what you'd copy and paste into the script. All right, so now on the page itself, you are going to need to add the following attributes in order to make this work. You are going to have a div over here, and you are going to give that the attribute of data_code journey timeline container, and that will tell the script where exactly your user activity should be logged. And then you are going to have a template, and this is what the script is going to clone for each user activity. And that's going to first have the attribute of data_code journey item template, and you're going to set that to display none. So if I just showed you how that looks like, inside the journey card content or the journey item template, you are going to have a title, date, and type. For the title, you are going to give that the attribute of data_code journey activity title. And then for the date, it will be journey activity date. And the type, it will be journey activity type. And you're going to make sure to set that to display none. Another thing you're going to want to have when there aren't any user activities logged is an empty state. And you're going to give that empty state container the attribute of journey empty state. Okay, and now how to actually track user activity on your site. For any links and buttons, what you'd add is an attribute of data_code journey track. And that will be the first attribute you'd add to any element. And then you can add additional combo attributes for specific event tracking. Okay, so for links, it will just be data MS Code journey track. Same goes for sign up buttons, journey track. If you are submitting a form, that will also be data MS Code journey track. But if you are tracking specific changes within the form, say the form input, you will then add journey track, yes, but you'll also combine that with data journey event set to change, because you'd want to track to see if a user has changed information in a specific form. If you're tracking custom events such as purchases, for example, you would add data MS Code journey track, and then the journey type would be purchase, and then the journey event would be click. So this would track if a user has clicked on your purchase button. Say a user has watched a video on your site, you'd want to track if a user has watched the video on your site, you would add the attribute of journey track, and then the journey event would be play, and then the journey title would be my video, because you'd want to know what video a user has watched. Now, if you'd want to track to see if a user has reached a specific section on your site or viewed a specific section on your site, you would add that to the entire section on your site. And you'd give that the attribute of data MS Code journey track, and that'll be data journey event view. At the very bottom here, you'll have a few attributes that explain how to use them in terms of combining attributes. So the first couple of attributes I've already gone through, and those are journey timeline container, and that just tells the script where to log all of your activities, and then the template, the type, title, and date. Those we've gone through, and those are for the card that gets cloned for each activity. You also have empty state over here. Okay, so for any elements that you'd want to track, you would always start off with data MS Code journey track. And then you can combine it with the following. So either data journey event, tracking a specific event. So if it's a click, submit, play, pause, change, or view. If you are tracking specific activity types, say on a link, button, form, video, download, view, or custom, then you'd add data journey type. And then if you'd like to give your tracking element a specific title, like we did for the video over here, we named it my video. So that will be data journey title, and then you'd rename the value to whatever you are tracking. All right. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out in the Slack 2.0 channel. Bye.